it's called mamá cultiva, which translates to mom grows, and they're usually responsible for driving change in legislation, medical legislation in cannabis around Latin America, because there are these moms who grow cannabis for their autistic or heavily epileptic kids and are going to jail for it.
Wow, no kidding.
Or
Tell me more about that. That's incredible.
Well, it was a organization that started in Argentina, and I remember I was in New York at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice at a cannabis event, which was already pretty oxymoronic on its own, right? Like,
why would you have it there?
The one school that is educating all the prosecutors, jailing people for this,
Right.
is suddenly hosting this cannabis business event where like 5 women in pantsuits in their 60s are talking cannabis and then smoking a joint at the door. Wow, mind blowing! And at the middle of the right in the middle of the event, I got a text from a friend saying, "Hey, Argentina just legalized cannabis." I'm like, "Wow, really?" And she goes, "Yeah, Mamá Cultiva just kind of pushed hard enough, and they legalized." And then this is something that kind of expanded to the rest of Latin America. These women willing to go to jail definitely to save their kids' lives.
That's amazing.
And it's one of those strong messages that really resonates with people, right? Like you can look at cannabis legalization from an economic perspective. You can tell all these stories of grandparents being helped, but really a kid dying and then not dying because of cannabis, that it's powerful, and people can, like, anyone can relate to that. Not everyone has had an ill or sick grandparent or father or mother or whatever, but everyone has been a kid, and everyone has seen kids, and it's one thing you see is like this little thing, you should not die,
Right.
not for now, right? Like,
Right.
That's powerful. That's real.
I didn't know.
You don't think about the type of medical advancements that we've done until it's like, well, people are getting thrown in jail for this. When it comes down to it, that's for their children. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I think on a primal level, I have a lot of respect for that story because it shows you what an individual is willing to do for somebody else.
oh yeah,
I
would be willing to go to
Yeah.
jail for my kid, man. Right?
Yeah, I would
It's
just.
it's a no-brainer. Like, I don't know.
That's
I can
real.
show him a poem now. I think it relates well,
Okay.
or not really.
You have a poem?
The story I told you about this spoken word I did
Please share.
to pitch Lin-Manuel Miranda and John Oliver. I wanted to, at the time I was writing for Playboy, and I wanted to do an interview with both of them so they would talk cannabis, and they said no, so I tried to get creative and they said no. And then that poem died, and I showed to some people, and they made me perform it at a dinner cruise. Next day, Jonathan Hayes, producer, goes like, "Hey, I'm about to release it out. This album features RZA and Inspector Tech from Wu-Tang Clan and Twista and Riff Raff, and it's produced by DJ Hoop. Do you want to be on?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah.
So this is how it goes.
Spit it. You need a beat?
Yo, allow me to drop some freestyle
All right.
Okay.
to talk
All right.
cannabis legalization. Let me tell you about the Washington Secure Fund dedication. We could create a lot of wealth for every state in our great nation and multiple billion-dollar basis of new taxation. I'm hoping to God Jeff Sessions' tragic misinformation did not confuse the Congress, which needs to pass legislation ending with fratricide tax burdens and medication. I care about the stoners, but this is really about the patients. This is a topic I refuse to ignore. The opioid epidemic hitting home is real hardcore. We got here at the cost of so many tombstones, leaving cartels to business while damning the good souls. They locked up yours. They locked up mine. But somewhere down the line, we decided it'd be a white to get off with a similar fine. I'm sorry. The great debate over morals has to wait. That's Baba telling Forrest about Trump on Judgment Day. We gotta be pragmatic and focus on what matters. We got veterans, kids and mothers, patients going down the gutters. What about the taxes and what about the jobs? It's time to make weed legal. We gotta cut the laws. To recap, 3.2 million American civilians are missing out on billions. Boost tobacco farm and prisons, a leak in this grand shakeout. There's nothing left to say or do. We're done. We need a bill out. The It's time to close the fracture. Weed is not the malefactor. We can't just let this play out. For some, death is less than a year out. It's nonpartisan. The hard part is in convincing Congress that legalization matters so their hearts get in the fight. Not to get high, but for relief. I believe that there's a leaf that can help millions ease their grief. Sean Spicer, I will buy our alternative facts. I will play board games with the Kushners. I will wear a Trump campaign hat. Our citizens are suffering, stop the madness, it's just paused. Harbor patience, all that needed is one loan. That's it.
Dude, good job, man.
Yo, I'm mad.
I was not expecting that.
I'm mad impressed. That was really, really, really dope. Like, for real, from somebody who works in the entertainment art industry, I've managed artists before. Like, that was great, dude. That was dope. Like, I want to use that snippet. Like, I definitely want to use that, and it's yours. So I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah, okay. Hey, that's all I need.
I almost want to do a redo of that and have it just a real close-up shot of him doing it.
I mean, if he's comfortable with that,
Yeah,
I
if
kind
you're
of want to
comfortable
do it
with
too, because that was something else.
Yeah.
That was
would be-
something
yeah,
else.
that would-
Let's do that. Let's do that, John. Yeah, get some water. Get a second.
That was so awesome.
You keep this one.
So awesome.
We're not playing right now.
Yeah.
You got time, right? You good? Thank you. I love you.
How awesome will Thursday be?
Fucking amazing.